Hey guys, I'm here again with another video. Um, Yesterday I made a video about expectations and the importance of not having expectations from others. Um, and you can watch the video there on Facebook on my page. And now I just wanted to kind of point out a few more things and touch on a topic that uh, we as Christians don't really talk a lot about. And I don't know, I feel like we don't talk a lot about it because it is a topic that has to do with pride, with our own ego, and we don't we hold on to it too much that we just, it, the truth hurts, and it hurts us when we hear about those things. So it has to do with loving unconditionally. But how do we love unconditionally? Is it just loving your enemy? Is it just loving your spouse? Loving your friends, your family, no matter what the situation, right? That is the short version of loving unconditionally, right? But it has to do with a lot more than that. And this one is a big one, and that is to forgive, forget, and apologize when we're wrong. First of all, I always think to myself, well, and this is cheesy, everybody says it, every Christian out there has said it at least once: what would Jesus do, right? Sometimes we tend to point that out to people and they don't like it. I mean, because it hits their ego. It hits my ego too when somebody says it to me when I did something wrong, and and I'm like, you're right. Like deep inside, I'm like, why, you little? So it's like, it's normal to feel that way. Not that it's right, but we're human, and we all have our ego. Now, we need to work on our ego. We need to work on our pride. And forgiveness, this is exactly why forgiveness is such a huge deal, because Jesus said himself, forgive 70 times 7. Now that's a symbolic number that is basically saying forgive endlessly. Doesn't matter how many times somebody wrongs you, doesn't matter how many times someone hurts you, doesn't matter how many times somebody messes up and even accidentally hurts you. Forgive. Even if they have not asked for forgiveness. Yeah, even if they haven't asked for it, forgive. Now, if they did ask for it, you must tell them that you forgive them. You must go up to them and tell them that you forgive them. Because one thing is to say, well, I'm going to be good with God and just tell God that I forgave that person and everything will be fine. And another thing is to actually go and tell the person that you forgive them. And why is that so crucial is because when we forgive someone and we actually tell them, then we are mending that brokenness, that broken relationship, that broken friendship, that broken family relationship, anything. When we forgive, we humble ourselves to the point that we allow the other person's mistake to just go unseen, as if nothing happened. And that's where forget comes in. Forgive and forget. Just like Jesus does. I know it's a lot harder than it sounds. We can always forgive, right? A lot of people forgive, but do they really forget? Can we forgive and forget? Of course we can do that. But it takes a lot of faith and a lot of spiritual growth. to get to that point. It's not just like, oh, from one day to the next I'll be able to forgive and forget. Going a bit further, let's learn to apologize as well, because apology, that also shows that we are humble as well. That also shows that we care. That shows that we care to mend a relationship. That shows that we care to be okay with that person that hurt us, or that person that you hurt. Because apology doesn't go just for the person that hurt us or for the person that you hurt, because it could be your fault, it could not be your fault maybe, but still, even if it's not our fault, even if it's not their fault, we should all apologize. I remember one day, I did nothing wrong, and a friend of mine was mad at me for something, and they yelled at me and all this stuff, and then they realized, and here's a good point. That friend of mine went away and cooled off for a bit, and I'll bring this up in a bit. That friend of mine cooled off for maybe 10 minutes, came back and apologized, because they knew that, you know what, you were right. And so after that, that friend of mine was asking for an apology from me, and I was like, wait, what? Why should I apologize? You just admitted that you were wrong. So, and this thing, I didn't feel like I had to apologize, but in the end, I ended up apologizing either way, because I loved my friend. I mean, that's where unconditional love again comes in. I didn't want my friendship to break. I didn't want my, everything to go to waste just over a lousy dispute, which is what it was. And so I was like, okay, I'll apologize. I'm sorry for whatever it is that you think I did. And that was that. And actually, we were able to forgive and forget from there on. I mean, like, we didn't even remember those things happened. I mean, I did remember it, but it didn't bother me anymore. It wasn't something that I even thought of anymore. So yeah, just like Jesus says, forgive 70 times 7. Because 7 is a perfect number, symbolizing always forgive. And if we don't forgive, that's where the problem comes. What happens? It's not just a broken relationship. It's not just a broken marriage. It's a broken relationship with God as well. And why is that? And I will point it out right now. The Bible clearly states that if we don't forgive, then we cannot be forgiven by Jesus, by God. So if we cannot be forgiven, how can we further our relationship with Him? How can we further a relationship with God when He cannot forgive us? It's not that He doesn't want to forgive us, it's that we're not giving Him permission to. We're setting up a barrier. We're like, God, I'm sorry for this and sorry for that, but God is like, you're giving me no choice. I mean, you have free will, but son, you're not giving me a choice but not to be able to forgive you, because you can't forgive that person, and if you can't forgive that person, I can't forgive you. So that's just how it is, and we have to accept that, and we have to look at that and actually take that into account and use that, at least if nothing else works, use that reference at least to say, okay, you know what? I need to be a better person. I need to forgive. Because if I don't do that, then I can't go to heaven like that. I mean, we're taking our character to heaven. Not our bodies, but we're taking our character to heaven. So, how do you think that we're going to be in heaven if we are in enmity with someone on earth? If we are in crisis with someone on earth? Do we think that we're going to apologize at the end of the world? when Jesus is coming, like right before he comes, oh hey, buddy, I'm sorry. Can we have a good relationship again because I want to be saved? You know? Yeah. That's not how it works. Especially when a relationship is broken so bad, that usually takes time to rebuild it. The relationship, you know, that takes a lot of time to rebuild the trust in that relationship. So if we can't forgive now, then, and the world is almost ending, and also not just that, but you can die tomorrow, and if you didn't forgive, well, you're not going to heaven. Sorry. It's so crucial. I mean, I can't stress this enough, but forgiveness is one of the keys to salvation. And I mean, not God's forgiveness only, our forgiveness to other people. With that said, don't hold a grudge, because if you're holding a grudge, then you're not going to be able to forgive. That's how it works. And if you're a person that has struggles with forgiving, with letting go of anger, have anger issues, or have, maybe you're bipolar, or maybe you just have, I don't know, any kind of negative emotions, then and it's hard for you to let go of certain things that people have done to you, then the only thing that you can do is just pray hard, read the Bible, and that's the only way that God is going to be able to give you the power to beat that and that anger, that negative emotion, and help you to continue and be able to forgive and forget, and actually mend those relationships again with the people that have hurt you or that you have hurt. And one thing I know for sure is that we have the right, the complete right, to feel anger, to feel sad, to feel any kind of negative emotions. We have the right, because we were given free will, and we were given those emotions by God for a purpose, and that is to be able to discern what is going on around us. If we were just always happy, then we would be like robots. We would always accept everything gullible, like gullible people, and we would always be accepting everything and not knowing if we are okay with it, or should I feel right about this or not. No, we would always be running in a straight line like robots. That's why it's totally our right to feel negative emotions as well, because that's like pain. Pain tells you that, let's say I pinch myself, that is telling my body that something's going on that I need to address. And the same thing with emotions. If you feel sad, angry, whatever, address that situation and try to fix it. Or else it can get worse. Now, with that said, what are we going to do with those emotions? Because yes, we have the right to feel negative emotions. But do we have the right to hurt other people because we feel those bad emotions? No, we don't have the right to hurt people. So what do we do in that kind of situation? Just like my friend did. They went out, cooled off, came back, and addressed the situation. That's how it is. We are supposed to cool off first. We feel sad, okay. Don't take any actions yet. Don't, make sudden decisions because of how bad you're feeling right now. Make those decisions later when you feel better, when you have thought about it better. Because when you feel bad, when you feel angry, sad, whatever, then your mind isn't in the right state. First, learn to identify that. Learn to identify when you're feeling a certain feeling, and then say, okay, I'm feeling this way. Why am I feeling this way? Now, what am I going to do about it? So that's the key to making better choices with our negative emotions, and obviously with prayer. if you're feeling bad, if you're going through any kind of negative emotions, first of all, pray, and then address the situation. Think, what am I going to do? Cool off, and then decide. That is my other spiel of the day, and I hope that we can all learn something from it. I hope that we can grow more spiritually, thinking about these things. I'm still trying to learn. I'm still trying to get over some things. I'm still battling, having, inner battles. I'm not saying this because I know it all and because I have, just beaten it all and learned and passed the test. No, I still have to pass the test. But this is just something that I want to talk about because I think we all need to learn about it, and it's not talked about enough, and that people need to talk about it more. If there's other points that I missed out on, because I'm sure I missed out on a bunch of points, then let me know. And I can probably address that in another video. So yeah, we'll see. But thank you for listening, and we will talk again soon, I think. God bless.